Hey, it is Wednesday afternoon or evening, depending where you live in the world, I guess. I'm still calling it afternoon to trick my head into thinking I have time to write a few more articles, which is maybe not going to happen. But roundtable time, Noonan's off doing football stuff. Daigle's playing Pinehurst, not Pinehurst, maybe Pinehurst. He's playing a good. He's getting the shit kicked out of him playing golf at a good course. Ron's on the road, so it's just me holding down the fort. But I mean, look, if you can see what we got here. Patrick, we got Hennessey. It's a good round table as far as picking me up here. So, guys, thanks for joining. And yeah, if you just, maybe I said this off the air. Introduce yourself a little, maybe for people that don't follow, and they should follow. Like, there's a lot of good golf. There's a lot of good golf follows on Twitter, but I definitely count you two amongst them. So, Patrick, where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah, you want the whole deal. I'm 6'1", probably like $170 on a good day.
NFL draft season.
Yeah.
Hand size and everything.
Got a good vert. I'm out in DC. I'm over at NBC Sports Edge. I've been there. I think Heritage makes it a year now, so big anniversary week. Thanks for having me on, Andy.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm out in Jersey, a stone's throw away from Baltusrol Golf Club. They don't let me on, so just get to run past it every now and then. But deputy managing editor over at Golf Digest, oversee our gambling content, in addition to our 100 greatest courses stuff, and some other random stuff. But gambling's kind of the most fun thing that I do, so very much into it. And yeah, thanks for having me, Andy.
Yeah, no problem. 100. Is there any? I mean, is it just Hazeltine? What do we got in Minnesota? That's where I'm planted. Is it just Hazeltine? Is that it?
They fell out of our 100 greatest last time. I'm sure your friends are not too happy. Still a great course, obviously, Ryder Cup host. But Spring Hill, I think, is number 100 on our latest 100 greatest, Baguio. And then Interlaken, of course. Great course. That's in like our top 50 or so. So yeah, we could do a full segment on 100 greatest, but
I forget about Interlaken. Sneaky good ones. I'm gonna go up north over the summer. I might play. There's one we played it on our honeymoon. It's called Lake Superior National. It's not really nice. It's nice. I like it. And it's in that range because I was doing the thing with the thing I do every week is I look at these courses and look at how much they are to play. Mm-hmm. It's like, Jesus. And I guess, I don't know. And actually, I heard you actually played Harbortown recently.
I did, yeah.
Is it off season right now? Is it? Because there's two different rates. It's dormant Bermuda. You should have got the cheap price, right?
I know I did not pay a cheap price. But, cool experience. But can we go back to you playing golf on your honeymoon? That's pretty amazing. I need your advice on that.
It was a weird honeymoon. It was we'd just gone on it. Well, like her parents had just taken us to Mexico recently, and we said I don't want to do another tropical vacation, which is I don't know why we said that. I guess we just didn't want to go through all that again.
Like
so we just rented a Winnebago and drove up north. It was just like we didn't really have a plan. I bought golf clubs along the way because I didn't have any yet. So this is 14 years ago. But yeah, just all over northern Minnesota, saw where the Mississippi started, played a little golf. That was a unique experience because we just showed up on a nice golf course and hey, like, can I play? They're like, it's men's night in like 40 minutes, guy. I'm like, okay, sorry. They're like, you want to play the back nine? Sure, go play the back nine. It was gorgeous, a lot overlooking Lake Superior, and like the ranger drove with us the whole time and just bullshitted with us. Some old lady, amazing. She was awesome. So yeah, that was just 9 holes on the honeymoon. That's all I squeezed in, but
strong.
I'll be getting some more in. I don't know if both of you guys a little further north. I'm not sure what the weather's like. I saw some real hardos out. I have a golf course about a block from here. It's the super old local muni links kind of looking thing where the old guys will play at like 6 and the absolute dew sweepers, but I mean, it's like 35 degrees. So if there's no frost, they'll go play, and it's just a few weeks early for this guy yet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm like mid 50s, gotta be sunny. but I mean, I can't be doing 30 at 6 a.m.
No, if there's no wind, I'll be out there like in 40 degrees. That's doable.
But, yeah, if the wind isn't cutting through it, but it's not like I'm not jogging the course to stay warm. That's not happening.
No.
Little warmer in Hilton Head Island. I looked down at I had the weather report. I don't know if you guys saw the weather much. I'm a little worried about rain. That screws with me more than obviously we had maybe the worst weather debacle of my golf gambling career easily at the Players. Like that just, I mean, to make a wave like 3 strokes worse like that's it's not something we run into much, but there is a little chance of rain here. I don't know if you guys are looking at that. I don't think it's changing anything I'm doing. I don't know if either of you do DFS. Sometimes that plays in a little, but it's just more annoying than anything looking at that saying, I hate hearing the horn. I hate guys finishing on a second round on Saturday, but otherwise the highs in the upper 70s, it looks like it should be a good weekend.
Yeah, to me, Harbor Town, like obviously there's links in the name, but it's mostly like a parkland course. 17 and 18 coming down the water, and 18 is obviously a tough driving hole. But yeah, so for me, I feel like the wind is a little overrated here at Harbor Town. I don't know if Pat, you agree with that.
Hey man, I'll trust you. You're the one who's been out there. But yeah, like you said, it's really only those 2 holes that are right there on what is it, like a bay or a coast? It's not even the Atlantic.
Yeah,
it is a sound. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. It threw me for a loop too. That the water is actually to the west of the course. I feel like because it's an East Coast, it should be. It's not the ocean though. It's unlike the western shore of the island. So it kind of screwed with me too. I'm not sure why they needed a lighthouse in that little area. How nasty can that water really get? But I've seen the lighthouse a few times this week on some content. People have the one. That's why this is like a marina somewhere else on the island. If you Google this course or Hilton Head, 9 out of 10 pictures have that damn lighthouse. I'm sick of it. I didn't play it like some people have, but I did just play it on 2K21, and I turned the win off. But there is another par 3. I want to say 4. I'm trying to think of which one it is right before 17, where it does dip out. The green dips out a little into the open, and the wind can kind of throw you into the water there too. But like Patrick said, 17, 18, all of a sudden, you're playing like this parkland course, and then all of a sudden you're just on a coastal course for a couple holes, and the wind can get kind of nasty. It doesn't look horrible, but I really didn't take that into play as far as like building my pool for players I bet this week. Oh, Patrick, did you agree with the whole, like, I think the driving thesis, our first shot thesis is what we need to get on the table right now from everybody, because I've seen a million opinions on that. Like you got these distance doesn't matter guys, and then you got the accuracy doesn't matter, and something has to matter when you hit your tee shot, right?
I think I'm not in the pool of distance doesn't matter. I think it matters every week, in some aspect, whether it's hitting a 3-iron instead of a 3-wood off the tee. But accuracy, I know, like, you can't be spraying it everywhere. You'll get lost out here. I think there's tons of like stats how it's like easy to hit the greens off these fairways, but that's if you're like somewhat not inaccurate. So I'm not targeting guys who are complete sprayers of the golf ball just because of that. But yeah, kind of, it's a lot of like bing, bing, bing type of golf, like you got to find the right side of the fairway, the right portion of these small greens. So I think distance does matter. And I think, accuracy matters as well. I think just the shorter hitters have a chance this week where they don't every week.
That's fair. And then Abe Answer pulls out.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
But won by 5. Seriously.
Yeah. Munoz too. We had a couple late withdrawals. Yeah. It was everybody was predicting like, all the guys late on Sunday, which one of these guys is gonna, and then they all just play. Like anyone who really committed end up playing, and then we get a couple late withdrawals. But I'm kind of with that too. And I don't know how what your favorite. I shouldn't say like what's your favorite SG stat. That's another question. But you do start to fall in love with certain things when you start looking into stats and for gambling and the context of things. And I got really mad at like the accuracy stats this week because it's it's almost like we need something new. I still think we're really, really early on in golf stats. Almost like, the trading bases level of like baseball stuff and where we're at now with XFIB, WHIP, and everything mashed together into super long portmanteaus of acronyms. But like, it seems like these accuracy numbers off the tee are like binary. Did you hit the fairway? And like here, and again, I just played the course like 2 hours ago. I played this course on 2K21. Shot I was 17 under. I turned the wind off, so 18 under.
I think that would get it done this week.
It's pretty good.
It was a nice round for me. I didn't even pull anything out from the fairways, but I have it on like baby mode. It's really more for us just showing people the course and explaining. And that, like Patrick said, there's a lot of bing, bing, bing. Like maybe you don't need to hit it a country mile here, but you certainly want to be on the right-hand side of this fairway. Even if you're in the second cut, it's going to be way better than being on the left-hand side with the really heavy overhang from some of the trees. And that's what I'm saying with that, with the, the binary nature of like fairways hit or, finding it. It's like, well, you know what, if you're in the second cut here, you might be fine if you're on the right side of the fairway. Whereas, like you said, with the spray, if you end up 60 feet to the left, you might be behind a nice little birch tree.
Yeah. Some huge trees, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm looking at strokes gained off the tee on courses less than 7,200 yards. I feel like at least that tells you a guy's going to gain an advantage based on the field on these shorter courses. And, those are a lot of the comp courses people are looking at this week, Waialae, Sedgefield, Pebble Beach, which I think is a decent place to start at least. And then you could kind of compare that to guys who gain off the tee on longer courses and kind of compare the two and see who actually is better on a less than driver course. Cause this is definitely a course where guys will take fairway wood, hybrid, even long iron off the tee. You got to stay out of the trees here to have a chance. So again, no real science to it. And I wish there was a perfect stat for it, to your point, Andy, but at least that approach I thought was like a decent place to start.
Yeah. I feel like we need, I know Fitzpatrick, he writes down all his shots because based off where he's aimed. Like, we need him to revamp all these strokes gain stats for everyone.
That's true. That's a good point.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and because I was, even when the Masters was going, we were planning ahead for this week, and this stuff kind of comes up, and like, God, I wish I could find a stat for like, not somebody hitting a 3-wood into a long par 3, but somebody actually clubbing down because of a dog leg or a funnel, or however you want to say the fairway and the detriments to your golf game, like bunkers and whatnot, are demanding you to club down. And I want to see like, how do people do in those specific instances? Yeah. And then I get the people announcing, well, Scotty's hitting a 9-iron here. He's going to lay off. I'm like, man, I'm not even sure if we have like accurate notes on like what club they're using on what hole. The announcers just said, he hit a 260-yard 9-iron apparently. So maybe we don't have that granular data as far as we need. The guys with the lasers out there doing the shot link need to be writing down which clubs the guys are taking out now too. But I think maybe that was how you said the off the tee on shorter courses, maybe as close as you'll be able to get to that. That's definitely an interesting way to approach that, looking at some of the comps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Golf moves pretty slowly, but compare that to what it was like 5 years ago, and I guess we're getting somewhere.
Oh, and that's something too. Some of the data guys we have over here who aren't super familiar with how things work with the shot link and stuff. When we run into some of this, we've had a lot of fun issues with that this spring where we run it at like, it's a match play this week. It's different. Like, we're not going to have holes completed and stuff, or, guess what? It's the Masters. We're not going to have a lot of the stats coming in anyway. We'd have to go find those ourselves. And we even talked off the air, a little Stableford. We got group play, partner play. What do we call that? Just pairs.
4-ball alternate shot. I got it both next week.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a goofy one. I haven't even delved into that one too early. I'm still on RBC, so it seems like it's a groupthink week. I don't know how much you sit on your Twitters. I'm probably on mine too much, but man, it It has been Connors. It has been Lowry. It's been Fitzpatrick. It's been Henley. Like 4, 5, 6 guys have popped. Do you guys have some differing opinions on, like, give me somebody that somebody hasn't said 75 times this week? I think I'm in the same boat. Like, here I am throwing stones in the glass house. I bet most of those guys they meet everything I want here, but my really only differing one is Mito. I bet a little Mito even at a really big number. Just I couldn't make it work. Every time I looked at the data for the fields, trying to parse things down, he was cropping his way up to the top. I'm not sure if the whole long shots have won here before thing is predictive. I really think it's certainly not, but I don't mind having 100-1 shot on Mito here.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I've got some ugly ones, to tell you the truth.
This is where I want.
I had Munoz before he withdrew, which was a bummer, but Hoagie I grabbed 100 on him. And Steve, Pebble Beach, you said it at the top. I think that's got some merit with the small greens, and he's lights out with those irons. And then at the top, I went with Neiman actually at 35. I think he finished like 5th after COVID that one year when it was in like June. With like when Webb won. And I think I know it kind of takes his biggest weapon out of his hand, the driver. But the around the green improvement that he's kind of had this year has been pretty ridiculous. He's like top 5 over the last 3 months in this field. And that used to be like a huge weakness of his. So those are 2 I like. I mean, but yeah, I went EVR. I got there somehow.
Nice.
I'm not an EVR guy. I feel like you either are or you aren't, and I've never bet on that guy. But this week, and then Damon too. I got in mix. I've lost so much money on that guy. So a little more this week probably.
Yeah.
EVR Minnesota Gopher. I can't hate on that. I've bet on him a few times. I think I actually added him a really, really small one to the card for the 3M one year. It's like, he's from around here. He played golf here for a couple of years. I'm sure he wasn't like, man, I got to get up to the, the TPC course. Like if I'm playing for the Gophers, I'm not playing there. It's not even that close to campus. It's kind of a haul to the north part of the cities.
Yeah.
So there was one year. Yeah. He was Mega Chalk one year and it just like blew up.
Yeah. Missed the cut by a million. Yeah.
You get that though, the whole sleeping in their home, sleeping in their own bed, or I did that once for Sea Island. I made it a full 6-man lineup for DFS of guys that had addresses on Sea Island.
Yeah.
Just like the whole Georgia, like Swafford, Mitchell, Harris, like those guys, a few other ones. And I had a full 6-man team. Only one made the cut. They're just at the local bar. Like they don't give it. I guess didn't work out at all. But EVR is interesting. And then Neiman was someone too. I added some derivatives, like a top 20 on him. Mm-hmm. He's somebody we liked a lot this year. Used him in a 1 and done at match play, which is match play 1 and done is such a nightmare week. But it was one really, really bad match. Like he came in cold, apparently just played like garbage, got the snot kicked out of him, and then he played really well, and it just was out of his hands to advance out of the group. He started playing well there, and he's won this year. Like you said with Hoagie, it's another guy that's won this year. And I don't know how you guys deal with the agronomy. If you're agronomist like Ron is into the agronomy. He's emailing course superintendents talking about the overseeding and stuff. He's wild with that. But the overseeding here should roll a lot purer. Poa trivialis is not West Coast POA, not the bumpy stuff. I feel like, and you said like your Hoagie. If Hoagie can roll it like he was out there on that, he should be able to find the greens here and be able to, just get something out of his putter. So I'm a Hoagie guy too. He's not too far. He's a Fargo guy. We kind of adopted him as we don't have a Minnesota golfer right now. It was Tom Lehman and Tim Herron for like ever, and then now we're kind of stuck with that one. So Hoagie's our guy, even though he's a TCU kid. Sure. So
Tommy Tables, that's right.
Tommy. Yeah. Plus he's a gambler. You got any ugly ones there, Steven?
Yeah, definitely have some ugly ones to add to the mix. Got a few top 40s before I give my outrights when we're talking ugly. Bo Hostler Talk about ugly guy, Bo Hostler, plus 170, 6,800 in DFS. Obviously trending up, played really well at Pebble Beach. Again, the comp there I think is interesting. So Bo to show there. Doug Gim as well, plays well in these positional type courses, has played well at TPC Sawgrass. So plus 135 for a top 40 with Dougie Gim, 6,900 on DFS. I just think talent-wise, he's someone who could pop up and kind of threaten to win. We've seen that a couple times with him. And Kevin Strillman, another guy, plus 120, 7,500 in DFS. But Strills, I think, has finished in the top 7 here, 3 of like the last 4 times he's played at Harbortown. So obviously likes this place and has 3 top 25s in his last 3 starts. So game is coming into form. So those are my ugly ones. And in terms of outrights, on the golfdigest.com experts panel, 2 of our sharpest experts, Pat Mayo and Brandon Gadula, are both on Daniel Berger. So they've completely talked me into him. If you just think about the type of shots you need at Harbortown, it's club down, hit fairway wood, long iron off the tee, and then scramble your ass off. And that's what Daniel Berger does. Probably the most underrated short game on tour. And obviously it's come close to winning this year. That was talk about ugly at Honda, definitely blew that one. But, I caught like a 35-1 on Daniel Berger. I know it's a talented field, but, feels like he's probably priced a little too high. So I'm tailing Mayo and Gadula there. Made a pretty big boy bet on Berger. I'm feeling good about that one, which means he'll probably miss the cut. But that's again, Daniel Berger, you might classify him as an ugly bet this week. But I'm liking that. And then Mcnealy, in terms of outrights, I've had that circled on my card. For months because, he contended here last year, even though Stuart Sink ran away with it. But my co-host on the Be Right podcast, Chris Powers, and we're spending a ton of money on Mcnealy over the past couple months, and our wallet's getting thinner because of it. But I think this is a good spot for him. And it's 55-1, and it's not like the group think, hammer him at like 25-1. We've seen at points this year. So catching him 55 on Mav at a course that should suit his skill set, kind of like that.
Yeah, he's definitely on my list of I haven't shopped all around all the top 10, top 20, top 30 kind of things yet, but he's on the short list of if the prices are okay. I still struggle with the fact that there are some books that put out the prices that don't chop. I think that's my favorite part of golf gambling Twitter now is like, because you've noticed like over the past couple of years, maybe the pandemic was part of it because golf came back, but like people didn't gamble on golf as much a couple of years ago. And we've talked about this too, like the props that you can bet every week, that stuff used to just be available for like the Masters and maybe the US Open. Yeah. Like you could bet outrights and matchups. I struggled to find top 20 bets for normal tournament weeks. Now it's just a absolute bonanza every week. And it's fun when you see that where there's like 19 guys tied at 14th. Like, some people are going to learn about dead heat rules this week. Like when they're betting top 20s at like minus 120, like I lost money on it. Yeah, you did. You lost money on that for sure. So, but there are some books that just don't. They just offer you a worse price. Like instead of 3-1, it's 2-1, but all the ties pay out. And I still haven't wrapped my head around that math. As I shop this, but Mcnealy is on my list too. The Berger thing kind of hurt bringing that up. We had
on him at Honda,
we had again. I split him a one and done with some guys in a bigger tournament, and we had a really nice start to the season, and it was getting to the point where we had a winner. It was Scotty, I think Scotty's first one, and then another nice one, and then we had Daniel Berger that week, and we were like golden god level. Like we were getting out of hand with how good we thought we were. And then Sunday came. It was almost good. Kind of knocked us down in the dirt a little. All right, guys. Like we need to regroup. We have a lot of golf left. But Noonan loves Berger. Jeff Feinberg talks me into Berger every time I talk to the guy. So I've I managed to fight Jeff off this week and didn't let him make me bet Burger, but
yeah,
he's going to be the only time he's ever won. I actually had somebody talk me into a live bet on him. And it was, so I've cashed on Burger, just not pre-tournament. Maybe that's the juju I need to keep with him and just add him later on.
There you go. And that was at Pebble. And, again, we're talking about the corollaries. So stars might be aligning.
Yeah, maybe add some Spieth there too to the portfolio.
Dear Lord, God bless your man. Spieth.
Yeah, that maybe that's the thing too with this one. We talked about it a little off air too, how this, in the shadow of Augusta, how this one works out. And it's still a really cool course. It's not a bad tournament, but the course or the field strength, that's worry you at all taking some of these? They're not longer names. Like, I don't consider 30-1, 35-1. That's not like a long shot. It's hard to win a golf tournament for everybody. We don't just see it every week, the 12, 15-1 guys winning it. Like, it's not wild to take 30-1s, but I looked at that right away. I'm like, man, there's a lot of big names right at the top. I think it's 11 of the top 20 are here. And I don't know if I remember the course strength or the field strength being this good before. I guess in the long run, it didn't scare me off my guys anyway, but I do worry that this is one of those where we just run into, like we ran into last week, like, oh no, like he's just going to win. Like, he's just the best guy here. This stinks. All my long shots are super dead. I think the only thing I had live, and it wasn't live, was Rory. If you look at the end, like if you look at the final one, like, hey man, you had a solo second. His win percentage was what? Never.
Like
yeah, it wasn't there. So I don't know. Is it one of those where it might just get chalky? Do you think?
I don't know. I think Colin could like run away with this somehow, like this course is like perfect for him. When you think about bing, bing, bing golf, like I'm definitely worried about him the most. And then, JT is definitely a little pissed off too. It's like 400 days since he's last won. So if either of those guys won, like they easily could. Like, so yeah, that's kind of why I did go with kind of more-ish long shots, because I wouldn't be shocked if these top guys come through.
Yeah, I said if Morikawa comes out with his B+ game, like he probably wins this. His iron play is gonna carry the day. JT kind of scares me here because he's so wild off the tee, but I mean he's clubbed down and won before, obviously at Wailea at Sony Open. Obviously plays really well there. But matchup Morikawa over JT, I like that one. I mean, we see this, Andy, a bunch of long shots win here. But obviously, again, like this is a much stronger field than we're used to seeing. And the time before where the field was probably best was 2020 and COVID. And, we had, a mid-level 30-1 Webb Simpson win it. So, we could probably see that again. I'm hoping it's Daniel Berger at 30-1. But, yeah, no, I agree with Patrick. If JT or Morikawa wins, none of us would be surprised.
Morikawa was an interesting case, and I dug in on him a little. And I think I need more time. I need more context to this. But if you look at him over a big sample size, it'll tell you, what about his irons. Hey, he's the best. Like you look at a big sample of his golf career. I mean, even just all the way back, if you take it, some of his early his early tournaments when he first came up, it's like, this guy is a wizard. But then I looked at a shorter sample of, the last, because I'm like, why am I not hearing his name enough? And I'm not seeing him in the featured groups on the weekend. Well, like, why am I not seeing a ton of Morikawa right now? And his iron game is kind of bad right now. And I really think I should qualify the word bad. Like, his iron game is very good, but it's just not like it's not his ceiling. Like, he just, if you look at the last 5-10 rounds, or even going by tournaments, it's been lower. Some of the proximity numbers have been lower. I can't figure out. He's not hurt. I don't know if he's just maybe motivational thing, disinterested, planning a wedding, things of those nature. You never know with this, especially the injuries in golf. It's not like the NBA where you have everybody just follows the same account and they tweet out the injuries in the afternoon. Like you just never know with somebody, like the poor people who didn't read the Japanese news and figure out Matsuyama was going to pull out after lock.
Right.
But I don't know if you guys had any opinion on that, because I agree. Like if he suddenly is back to baseline Morikawa, he's probably in the last few groups on the Sunday. It's a perfect course for him. But I just look at his iron games right now, and it's just not super accurate. It's not competing with the people who are playing the best on their second shots.
Yeah, he like talked about it at, I want to say, Riviera. He said he had like this like big swipey miss going on with his irons, and he and his coach were working on it. So I was like, okay, throw him off this week, comes runner up.
Right.
Of course.
Yep.
But I know like he knows it's like not as good as it needs to be. But outside of that, that's all I really know about that. But his putting's been like much improved, I want to say.
Yeah.
Like, top 50 on tour or something?
That's got to scare you if Morikawa's baseline is 50th on tour. Yeah, I was looking back at the strokes gain approach numbers on Colin, and I think the negative numbers came from the players, which he was on the wrong side of the draw.
Yeah, he had the bad wind draw.
Yeah, so that might have something to do with it too. And even with that, he's like top 15. In the last 36 round strokes gain approach. So like you said, not the top 5 that we expect, but yeah, I would throw those numbers a little bit out the door.
Yeah, that was a weird tournament where I just said, I don't know if like, it's almost like match play. Like how do you use any of those numbers when they're trying shots that they would never try in stroke play? Like
yeah,
you're not
Morikawa top one.
You gotta
like,
toss that out.
Fairway would, it was just crazy weather conditions.
Yeah. So like the match play, and then a big chunk of the players, I just started throwing out a lot of that when I'd go back and look. And it's tough to put context to like which ones, because people like, well, what about JT and Bubba? Like you should talk about how well they played the wind. Like, yeah, JT didn't really back it up by playing well with the wind knocked out. I don't know. He was just on that day. So I do agree there though. That putting thing is scary. That's like if Matsuyama had always putted well throughout his career, like the guy would have like 7 majors. Because if Colin's putting didn't drag him down consistently, and his iron play was back to where it needed to be, yeah, the guy's just going to win, especially through some of these summer months. And once we get to Tulsa, and again, maybe the papers will just say the guy can't play links golf again. Never has. How's he going to figure it out? How's this going to work?
The turf, man. Turf.
He doesn't understand it. Oh my God, that was one of the sillier things ever. That was I didn't have a ticket for him there. I had one of his majors. The other one there, Harding, because I don't hit many outrights, guys. I don't know if you guys are good at this. I'm good at matchups. I do well at matchups. Yeah. Outrights, if I look long term, I'm very much down on outrights.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's super, super hard. Like playing a lot of matchups has buoyed me over the years. I think that's where I've been able to just not have to sit and reload accounts every single week. But that was my week. Because I had Seamus at Barbasol, and okay. I'll never have a week like that again. Like having 2 outrights. I don't bet 2 tournaments ever. So. That was I will mention that as many times as possible. As long as I'm talking about golf, I will force that into conversations. They weren't even huge numbers, but Christ, that week was nice for me. So Morikawa to watch him this week. I kind of dismissed him a little bit. I think Steven maybe tampered that a little. Maybe he's somebody I'm going to upgrade a little, at least in the matchup stuff, because God, it's a good course for him.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, DFS kind of interesting as well.
Yeah, he's probably going to be most owned, you think, or something? I haven't looked at any like projections at all.
Yeah, same. I mean, I guess people will fade DJ because, like, you see all the bad course history here, but I don't know. We had him on our podcast this week, and he talked about how he really likes this course. So
DJ,
yeah, if he's around like 8%, I mean, I know he's going to say he likes the course. He's sponsored by RBC.
Yeah, he has.
But South Carolina kid, I mean, he's fine taking 2 iron off the tee and ripping it 250 down the middle. He could do that. So if he's like 8%, I think he's pretty interesting to plug into your lineups.
Yeah, and his last week, his driver like sucked that one round. He like wasn't even hitting it.
Yeah, he's been talking about how he's missing left. He obviously plays the cut off the tee, but it's just not cutting. So I think where you're going is if driver's out of his hands, that might be a good thing.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, that's how I usually try to judge some of these courses. And again, we know that it's a club down course.
Yeah.
But going back to the Nintendo, the 2K21, like when you come to a hole, it'll just have you set up with whatever club they think you should be using. And there is not a single course I've ever played on there where it's like a 5-wood. Like what? And again, I'm just bumping up to driver and shaping it around the trees. Like I'm not playing that game. But there was 3 or 4 holes. Like, maybe you should be using a 5-wood here. I'm like, oh man, I need to kind of look at some of these guys who can still really, really hit a nice, maybe even just some nice cuts with their lesser woods. And I think DJ probably fits that. I like him here too. Yeah. I did play him outright. He's my cheapest, like my lowest odds outright. I found a 23 and change on him. Wow. That's just a kind of a disrespectful number for a guy's. His ceiling is winning this by multiple strokes because he can just suddenly turn things on. So, and again, you said you talked to him. Hard guy to figure out because you cannot tell if he's like motivated or not. When they asked him about playing on a tournament starting on a different day, I don't know, man. It's just days. It
must be nice to not overthink everything. Like all of us do. He just see ball, hit ball. That's what Dustin Johnson does.
Yeah. Do you guys get some chuckles out of him? Get anything good out of him?
We actually did. Yeah, we asked him about the upcoming wedding menu, and he's like, I don't know, man. I have no idea what's on there. I let Paulina do it. That's like exactly what you'd expect him to say. But we were like, really? You have no idea? Like, how about pigs in a blanket? Because that's the champions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did he do the champions dinner?
Yeah, and he's like,
he make her do it too.
I don't know. Maybe mess him back with cheese. I don't know.
I can't think of many things in my life that were more painful than wedding planning. Like the amount of questions that were posed to me that I clearly had no answer to, and I knew there were right answers and wrong answers, and I knew I didn't have the right answer.
And you have to have an answer. Like that's the thing. Like you can't say I don't care because that's not the correct answer.
Yeah.
Like you have to have an opinion, but also the right opinion. Yeah.
So I feel for DJ, but again, like you said, he just is so unbothered that I wonder if it's even getting to him at all. Hopefully he plays well. I'd love to cash a ticket on him. I like the guy. I've just never had luck betting on or against him because whenever I'm on it, it's like you said, the 80 where he just withdraws. And you didn't want to play here this week.
Right.
The sponsors, the narrative about the sponsors thing is
that's
silly.
Overblown, I think.
Yeah, super overblown.
The CT Pan year, he had like a 6-shot lead going to the final round and shot 78 or something. That was unexpected, but he could dial it up here for sure. I like 23-1. We might have to talk if that number's still available. Andy, you might have to get me some of that. That's nice.
Yeah, I think I've spit my whole outright card because it was and again, I got late. That was my only one where I got a good number. The rest of them were just me getting the scraps of everybody betting some of the guys that, the groupthink guys where it's Lowry, Connors, and Henley. Like they're on like 90% of Twitter tout cards. Like they're just all over the place. So Connors, Lowry, Henley, like if any of those guys win, Twitter's going to blow up because we all like it's a group win. And those things happen. Like, we have weeks like that. It's a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm fine with the group win, but Mito coming through would be nasty. I'd be taking a vacation if he hit because that would be a nice chunk of change. Not as many prop ups or anything. Have you guys built some player pools out for DFS at all? I know we talked a little DFS. I kind of want to close with some DFS talk because I never give that enough love. I'm a donkey when it comes to it.
Oh yeah.
If I get time, like it's more of like if I get time, I'm going to play some DFS because I love it. But for the most part, I play some of the, like buddy leagues. Like my guys just throw together there's still money up, but it's more of a bragging right thing. I'd rather play in those than the scratch off tickets for millionaires because that never seems to work out for me. Yeah. And then when I think I have an edge, like I have a couple guys this week, then I'm putting in like 10 millionaire lineups. And it's like, oh no, I'm poor. This sucks.
Yeah, I'm big single entry, but it's like mostly entertainment purposes for me. Because I mean, you can't like 6 guys. That's all my attention span needs for the entire week. I don't want the entire app starred for my entire player pool. I'd be going freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, even then, I just don't check. Like I don't check them. I hate that when you actually do have a nice start. And you look and that number's like, oh, I'm winning a lot of money. And then you realize like, hey, there's 90 guys that haven't teed off, Andy. Maybe pull your head out of your ass and realize like that's going away. Like there's some top guys that haven't even walked to the course yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely donkey status as well. But yeah, I think it's a good week. Go with some, lower price guys. You can find a bunch of, 6K, 7K guys and fade a lot of the top because we see a lot of the top guys trunk slam here quite a bit in the past. So, yeah, I mean, I said play Morikawa and DJ and DFS, but that might not be a good strategy. Just kind of build in the 8K, 7K range. That might be better.
Yeah, once I get more time, I know guys who are good at this.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to spend time asking them questions because like these guys are building lineups based on, I need the total ownership projections of these 6 men's to equal somewhere in this range. Like I'm not even close to that level. I'm just picking 6 guys I think can golf all right. Like, and the game theory behind it, like I'm just 10 miles behind on that. That's why like I know I should be doing like Patrick says, single entry stuff. Just find some. I think we had a guest on the deep dive a couple weeks ago who talked about that. And he's like, man, if you're more recreational, don't enter these things with 20,000 people in it.
Yeah.
He's like, because it's like your lineup sucks. He's like, your lineup is not unique and it's not going to do well. He's like, you need a strategy to win those sort of things. He's like, find something with a few thousand people in it if you want to try for a big prize. He's like, and try to make something a little more unique. Look at those ownership projections. Even if you just ask a buddy who has a sub somewhere with projections, you don't want to pay for it. Like, just try a little to find something unique, and you'll do a little better. And I still haven't listened to him, so maybe that I think that's my project for tonight. Throw together a little bit of a player pool and try to take something down. It feels better. It feels better to have some green numbers.
Yeah, just steer clear of those single entries so I can grab them.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
There you go.
No, I should just do the 50-50s. Honestly, just there's no sexiness in that. That's like matchup plays in golf. Nobody likes that. Everyone wants the outright. Yeah, the outright is the sexy pick. So,
yeah.
Andy, you do any first round leaders? I know Ron's big into those.
Yeah, I do like that, and it's my guy, the smiliest, happiest, best dude on tour. It's Harold Varner, the father. Harold Varner III. He is
first round leader. God.
Not only that, but he is playing well this year. Like he popped in a few places for me. I just couldn't get a big number on him. He got bet down at a few places. He's probably another guy. He is on my list of I'm going to shop for some top 10, top 20 prices on him. I don't know about winning. His win this year, that was something as far as like golf moments of the year.
Yeah.
Like that putt over in, I can't remember which country it was. I always get confused where they're actually playing. The names aren't very descriptive of those, or the names aren't very creative every year when they have those early season tournaments. But Christ, it was like a 120-foot putt. Like I was happy for the guy. I obviously didn't bet him there, but
awesome. Yeah.
So
yeah, Carolina boy too. So obviously North Carolina, but he'll be at home down here and hitting those irons on and making a couple putts. He does that on Thursdays. Hasn't really done that on Sundays too often, but
near Albatross at Augusta, and just like it's a tough course, it's a tough field. I didn't expect him to compete, but he had some nice shots. Like, he had some really nice second shots on a tougher course. Mm-hmm. So I think I was hopeful, not only because of like the underlying stats that I looked at this week, but just watching him play some good golf in a very challenging environment. And I really wanted that ball to fall. Like just I don't even know what crystal you get for an Albatross, but it's got to be the rarest. Like for sure, there's hole-in-ones every year. Like there's it's got to be a decade between Albatrosses.
Yeah,
Albatrossi. I'm not sure if But yeah,
right?
I'm sure you get something wild as far as instead of just the liquor glasses or the vase or the bowl that you get for the other stuff. Like Albatross has got to be a good one. So I don't know. Did you guys have any first round leaders besides the nicest guy on tour?
What about you, Pat?
I went with your guy, Gim. I grabbed him at 130. He's kind of my horse for tomorrow. All the reasons you said. Hopefully he can just make a few putts.
I like it. I like Adam Svensson. His data on short courses quite nice. Like him, and Garrett Higo is my second guy. I think Higo could dial it up for one round too. So but feeling good about Svensson, especially because you guys seem to like it too. So good vibes.
Svensson was a really nice price for a top 40. A few weeks, it was the Honda. I bet him top 40 at the Honda. And of course you get I should have bet him top 30, 20, 10, like all those would have cashed. So I'm saying that out loud to like purge those thoughts from my head. Like I like him top 40. I think I'm going to bet him top 40 here. I got to talk myself out of like, oh, what if he does it again? Because I think he is kind of live. I like his game here, but it is just going to be probably maybe a 30 at best on Svensson. Maybe first round leader though. I tend to do the single dart thing because I just like the idea of, hey, look at me. Like I only put one first round leader in out of 130 guys and he won. And eventually if I do that long enough, it's going to work one time. But Ron and a few other guys I know, they do, they take a certain amount and split it up between like 10 or 12 guys, really small amounts on some big numbers, probably the strategy. So I am going to take a look at what Ron is putting out tonight and probably augment mine and try to actually make some money on that. Because if you do it right and it hits a nice one, you're free rolling for the weekend. Like every other bet you made's paid for, your DFS is paid for, like your Friday night supper's paid for. So first round leader would feel really good. I think Ron's going to guide me to the promised land on that.
Yeah, I talked to Ron about it a lot, like way too much weather talk during the Florida swing. It was horrible. He was calling me like weather boy in the DMs. I was like, dude, stop talking to me.
The Florida swing is, you can have the Florida swing.
Yeah.
I'm fine moving on from where they're at. Yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah.
Although I don't think we did horrible down there. So all right.
Crunch.
I think I'm gonna go eat some dinner, finish up some golf writing, finish up my last few bets here, and I've got one more podcast tonight. We're gonna talk some baseball props, me and Drew. That's gonna be kind of out of our comfort zone, but man, I talk about like how golf Twitter, gambling Twitter has blown up. No run first inning Twitter has blown up. Like that is hot in the streets. And
is that the bet this year?
Oh my God. Some people are really doing a poor job of betting into that market. Like we're going to break down some of the math on that. That'll be fun, but really, really appreciate both of you coming on. Did we have one guy that we can all cheer for then? I didn't overlap with Berger. Maybe I'm
Doug Gim, a little Doug Gim, a little
maybe a little Tom Hoagie.
Hoagie, yeah.
Hoagie. Yeah, we all three have some Hoagies.
Yeah.
So, Tom Hoagie, maybe I'll just have to add a small outright in case he ends up winning again. But Hoagie was a top 20 bet I already made this week at like 3-1. I didn't quite understand why it was that big. So Tom Hoagie will be the official roundtable cheer for everybody. And again, you can follow these guys on Twitter if you're not, because you should. I'm at Andy MSFW. That's a good one too. But amateur status, Patrick McDonald and Stephen Hennessey at S_Hennessey GD, just like the liquor, I think. 2 N's, 2 S's, an E and a Y.
There's no E in the liquor, so.
Oh damn! I did not fact check that. That was off the cuff, so I was not sure if I was saying it. I'm glad you hit me with the right spelling though, for sure though. So, but for that, yeah, enjoy the RBC, and we'll be seeing you next week for some doubles talk. That's gonna be exciting.
Woo.
Woo.